Shanti. Good afternoon. Let's meditate for 5 minutes. Gather your thoughts. Observe. Where are they wandering? And bring them in the present. Whatever has happened till now, today, or even in my life, I change my life in this moment. I create my own reality. The more conscious, the more present I am, the more right decisions I will take, more courage I will have, more clarity I will have. I am peaceful in this moment. I am complete in myself. Only I can make myself happy. Only I can accept myself. I don't wait for people to accept me. I don't wait for something to happen to feel happy. In all these situations, whether some favorable, some unfavorable issues, I still am happy because being blissful, joyful is my state of being. This is who I am. Om Shanti. Yesterday and day before yesterday, we talked about what has happened to our relationships. We try to cover it with saying that we love that person, but we have started to understand that there is no opposite of love. The ego wants to do the opposite of love. It's like a drug, and the unhealed part, which are already there, they are just get covered up with initial phases of just like any other drug. And after some time, that is never enough, and it starts to emerge. And now we have uh, got a person around us who is with us 24 hours. So we feel from our belief system and we start to project our pain, unhappiness, sadness on that person, that you are the reason for that. But the real reason is I am not healed. I have the habit of attaching to the pain body. I have started loving those dramas, those fights, those painful moments. Now we are starting to understand is that that is not me. The reality is, what is the reality? Reality is this is not true. This is my mind identification. This is ego which is playing with me. The reality is that person has a connection with me. That person matters to me, respects me. I respect myself. So I will not let these intrusive thoughts, negative thoughts, egoic mind hamper my relationship. I will not let it overpower the relationship, the beautiful relationship I have. And I give the space to myself and I give the space to others as well when I am unconscious, when the other person is unconscious, which means anger, sadness, jealousy, possessiveness, suppression, loud voice, what else? Fear, insecurity. These are the unconscious parts of me as well as the other person. So whenever I start observing that that unconscious part is waking up, getting triggered, I will create a space of not reacting for myself as well as if the person. That relationship can be anything. It can be my kids, it can be my spouse, it can be the office relationships, whatever. Like simply that when the person is unconscious, जब सामने वाला बेहोश है, या let's say that if the other person is possessed, है ना, what would you do? Would you do anything? Just stay quiet, right? So when the person that is unconscious does not really know what that person is doing, the best thing is keep quiet, right? So I will not uh, dirty my hands by fighting in the dirt. I will stay out of it. and I will give it some time to pass so that that egoic mind, which got hijacked, uh, starts to come in the conscious stage, and then we will try to find the solution, right? So let's proceed with with the reading part. So where we left, let's start reading from there. So if your partner is still identified with the mind, let's say you are reading this book, your partner is not reading the book, you have become spiritual, your partner is not getting, awareness about all these things. So if your partner is still identified with the mind and the pain body, while you are already free, this will represent a major challenge, not to you, but to your partner. Not to you, but to your partner. Let's understand. It is not easy to live with an enlightened person, or rather, it is so easy that the ego finds it extremely threatening. Remember that the ego needs problems, conflict, and enemies to strengthen the sense of separateness on which its identity depends. The unenlightened, are you able to hear me? My voice is coming or not? Will you confirm, everyone? I'm getting yes, no. Okay, clear. ठीक है. Hmm. Remember that the ego needs problems, conflicts, and enemies to strengthen the sense of separatedness on which its identity depends. Ego wants to feel different. Ego wants to create a gap that I am different. It can be, it could be anything. Just, it just needs to identify with something. I am Indian. I am Hindu. I am female. I am male. I am elder. It can be anything, right? The unenlightened person's mind will be deeply frustrated because its fixed positions are not resisted, which means they will become shaky and weak, and there is even the danger that they may collapse altogether, resulting in loss of self. The pain body is demanding feedback and not getting it, right? So the enlightened person, the ego needs to fight, needs drama, and you are not giving it. So what is going to happen? The it is going to become resulting in loss of self. For them, the self is the pain body, and that is demanding feedback and not getting it. The need for argument, drama, conflict is not being met. But beware, some people who are unresponsive, withdrawn, insensitive, or cut off from their feelings may think and try to convince others that they are enlightened, or at least that there is nothing wrong with them and everything wrong with their partner. Men tend to do that more than women. They may see their female partners as irrational or emotional. But if you can feel your emotions, you are not far from the radiant inner body just underneath. So, author is saying some people may not respond directly to it, maybe insensitive or cut off from their feelings. Still, they will blame other that they are the reason for it. But the author says that they may see their female partners as irrational or emotional, ना कि बोलते हैं, बहुत इमोशनल है, छोटी छोटी बातों पे इमोशनल हो जाती है. But if you can feel your emotions, if you actually can feel your emotions, so you're not far from the radiant inner body just underneath. If you can feel your unhealthy emotions, so you can feel the real radiant inner body, which is the soul virtues, just underneath all those chaos, all those negative emotions. If you are mainly in your head, the distance is much greater, which means you're not able to identify with your emotions. You are cutting off from emotions. You're suppressing it and do not really know that what it is happening, unresponsive, unexpressive. Then the distance is much greater. Like author is talking about generally men, and you need to bring consciousness into the emotional body before you can reach the inner body. We are talking about this from starting, that if we want to reach to the consciousness, that light body, that the natural state of being peaceful, being happy, soul consciousness, the way is first feeling those uncomfortable emotions. Like in psychology, we say that feel it to heal it, or name it to tame it, which means from head, I'm going to heart, which means feeling those emotions, being aware that what my emotions are doing. I am not that, but I am trying to understand that I am feeling fearful. Why am I feeling little uneasy? What is the reason? Not escaping from it, confronting it, facing it, naming it, feeling it. Why am I not feeling good? What has happened? क्यों अच्छा सा नहीं लग रहा है? कुछ गलत किया क्या मैंने? This is very important, right? So slowly we will start coming into that real consciousness. If there isn't an emanation of love and joy, complete presence and openness towards all beings, then it is not enlightenment. Please, we have to understand this. You have seen some people, I am animal lover. So if you're an animal lover, it does not mean that you just love dogs. It means you respect every creature, and needless to say, you are vegetarian, right? Similarly, you say that I love all the human beings, or I am enlightened, I know what I'm doing. It means you should love everyone, everything, towards openness, presence towards all beings, love and joy for all. Otherwise, this is not enlightenment. Another indicator is how a person behaves in difficult or challenging situations, or when things go wrong. This is the actual actual checking that how much conscious I actually am. If your enlightenment is egoic self delusion, then life will soon give you a challenge that will bring out your unconsciousness in whatever form, as fear, anger, defensiveness, judgment, depression, and so on. So, if you are in a relationship, many of your challenges will come through your partner. For example, a woman may be challenged by an unresponsive male partner who lives almost entirely in his head. She will be challenged by his inability to hear her, to give her attention and space to be, which is due to his lack of presence. The absence of love in the relationship, which is usually more keenly felt by a woman than a man, will trigger woman's body, pain body, and through it, she will attack her partner, blame, criticize, make wrong, and so on. This in turn now becomes his challenge. Now she will blame him. Now it is going to become his challenge to defend himself against her pain body's attack, which he sees as totally unwarranted. ये कहाँ से आ गया है ना? He will become even more deeply entrenched in his mental position as he justifies, defends himself on, or counterattack. What is going to happen? What happens? Now the other person उसकी भी ट्रिगर हो गया पेन बॉडी. What is going to happen? The mental position, the judgments, 5 साल पुरानी बातें, irrelevant things, तुम भी ऐसे करते हो, तुम भी वैसे करते हो, just to defend themselves, they will counter attack. Eventually, this may activate his own pain body. And pain body, you remember, the unconscious pain which is being accumulated every day through every situations, that has become so, the intensity of it is so big that you will think about it later, that how come this much toxicity I had. This is what pain body is, the trigger. If it gets triggered, it will vent out all the negatives which you've been carrying for years maybe. So when both partners have thus been taken over, a level of deep unconscious has been reached of emotional violence, savage attacks and counterattack, and it will not subside until both pain bodies have replenished themselves and then enter the dormant stage. ये साइड में नहीं होगा जब तक दोनों का पेन बॉडी रिप्लेनिश नहीं हो गया है, खत्म नहीं हो गया है और थोड़ा सा डोरमेंट स्टेज में नहीं चला गया है. Until the next time, few days will go okay, then again the next time. This is the cycle. This is only one of an endless number of possible scenarios. Many volumes have been written and many could be written about the ways in which unconsciousness is brought out in male female relationships. But as I said earlier, once you understand the root of dysfunction, you do not need to explore its countless manifestations. Let's briefly look at the scenario I have just described. Every challenge that it contains is actually a disguised opportunity for salvation. जो भी चैलेंज आता है उसके अंदर क्या होता है? Disguised opportunity, छुपी हुई opportunity होती है for healing. You can relate the salvation to healing. ठीक है? At every stage of the unfolding dysfunctional process, freedom from unconsciousness is possible. For example, the woman's hostility could become a signal for the man to come out of his mind identified state, awaken into the now, become present instead of becoming even more identified with his mind, even more unconscious. So this is known as that understanding the trigger point. Let's say the man understands that the women, the girl gets triggered by these things, my unresponsive behavior. So if that person takes this opportunity that I will work on it now, I know what triggers her, I know what triggers me when she says something. So let me prepare myself, let me work on myself, that I will not go into those self-harming or harming others or getting involved, getting entangled in those mental noises or mind identification. I will be aware that all this is the play which ego is playing, right? So instead of being the pain body, the woman could be the knowing that watches. One second, huh? हाँ, ठीक है. Even more, instead of being the pain body, the woman could be the knowing that watches the emotional pain in herself, thus accessing the power of now and initiating the transmutation of the pain. This would remove the compulsive and automatic outward projection of it. She could then express her feelings to her partner. There is no guarantee, of course, that he will listen, but it gives him a good chance to become present and certainly breaks the insane cycle of involuntarily acting out of old mind patterns. And if the woman misses that opportunity, the man could watch his own mental emotional reaction to her pain, his own defensiveness rather than being the reaction. He could then watch his own pain body being triggered and just bring consciousness into his emotions. Just being aware about all these mental images, mental noise, egoic creation. In this way, a clear and still space of pure awareness would come into being, the knowing, the silent witness, the watcher. In this way, a clear and still space of pure awareness would come into being. Let's say if the other person is not doing it, and let's say you are doing it, you have become aware. So as we discussed that first let it pass. The things, the unconsciousness, all the attacks, all the emotional traumas, words, let it go first. And when you see that it has gone, then you can speak also. Then you tell them. And you can prepare the ground that come to the solution part. Don't, talk irrelevant things. What to do? This is not right. This is not true what you are thinking. Think clearly. You can tell them. You can make them aware. I remember I have done it n number of times, telling them that no, this is not a right thing which you are thinking. With love, with acceptance, giving some time, not immediately. After some time, telling them that this thinking is not going anywhere. Let's come to the solution part. करना क्या है? अब ये बताओ, right? So, in this way, a clear and still space of pure awareness would come into being, the knowing, the silent witness, the watcher. All denotes the same thing, being. The knowing, the silent witness, the watcher. This awareness does not deny the pain and yet is beyond it. It does not deny that there is the pain, but this is something beyond it. It can see that pain is there, but I am not this pain. It allows the pain to be and yet transmutes it at the same time. It is able to see that pain is there, sadness is there, anger is there, betrayal is there, feeling abandoned is there. But I'm not attached to that. This is not me. So I'm able to transmute it. Transmute it means changing that feeling, changing the thought process that this is not right. What my real self is saying. From soul consciousness, what could be the truth? What is the reality? Ask yourself. You will find the answers. You will be able to transmute it. Same thing, like, okay, this person again is, let's say you want to do something, you don't want to do something, and that person wants to do that. So there is, if you are denying it, there is anger, there is harsh words, maybe. How to transmute the pain then? Just tell yourself, I know what I am doing. I know what is right. That person right now is unconscious, does not understand. That's okay. Let me give some little more time. Let me have pure vibration. Let me create positive things. Let me create a space, a conducive space of healing so that these powerful, those conscious things gets into their mind and they start following it. So you're transmuting it by thinking positive. So it accepts everything and transforms everything, right? This is how we can transform. A door would have opened up for her through which she could easily join him in that space. If you are consistently or at least predominantly present in your relationship, this will be the greatest challenge for your partner. Consistently being in the present. Everyone understand that? Can I get a yes or no? What is the meaning of present, being present in the relationship, or at least predominantly, which means the first thing is the most of the time I am in the present. Are you understanding this? Okay. So being in the present again means being conscious, knowing, understanding, being the watcher, so that you understand the unconsciousness of your and your partner. So this is what is the meaning of being in the present is. And this will be the greatest challenge for your partner. They will not be able to tolerate your presence for very long and stay unconscious. If the other person is not conscious, if they have not started this journey, if they are ready, they will walk through the door that you open for them and join you in that state. If they are not, you will separate like oil and water. The light is too painful for someone who wants to remain in darkness. And this is true, and this is best for both, right? So if they are ready, they will walk through the door that you have opened for them and join you. And if they want to stay in the darkness, then maybe, the light is too painful for them. Why women are closer to enlightenment? This is very interesting, right? And I completely agree on that. Are the obstacles to enlightenment the same for a man as for a woman? Yes, but the emphasis is different. Generally speaking, it is easier for a woman to feel and be in her body. So she is naturally closer to being and potentially closer to enlightenment than a man. This is true. Like author discussed last page. Because they are able to, they live in heart more, not in the head, right? And if a person lives more in the head, then the journey is longer. This is why many ancient cultures instinctively chose female figures or analogies to represent or describe the formless and transcendental reality. It was often seen as a womb that gives birth to everything in creation and sustain and nourish it during its life as home. In the Tao Te Ching, one of the most ancient and profound books ever written, the Tao, which could be easily translated as being, is described as infinite, eternally present, the mother of universe. Naturally, women are closer to it than men since they virtually embody the unmanifested. What is more, all creatures and all things must eventually return to the source. All things vanish into the Tao. It alone endures. Since the soul is seen as female, this is represented as the light and dark side of the archetypal typal feminine in psychology and mythology. The goddess or divine mother has two aspects. She gives life and she takes life. When the mind took over and humans lost touch with the reality of their divine essence, they started to think of God as a male figure. Society became male dominated and the female was made subordinate to the male. I am not suggesting a return to earlier female representation of the divine. Some people now use the term goddess instead of God. They are redressing a balance between male and female that was lost a long time ago, and that is good. But it is still a representation and a concept. perhaps temporarily useful, just on a map or a signpost is just as a map or signpost is temporarily useful, but more a hindrance than a help when you are ready to realize the reality beyond all concepts and images. What does remain true, however, is that the energy frequency of the mind appears to be essentially male. Of the mind, the mind resists, fights for control, uses, manipulates, attacks, tries to grasp and possess, and so on. This is why the traditional god is a patriarch, controlling authority figure, as of an angry man who you should live in fear of, as the Old Testament suggests. This God is a projection of the human mind. So wonderful, right? So when people lost touch of their real being, that they are a soul, they started everything as a male dominating. So that's why they made God as a male also. And in in Christianity, this is a scripture, Old Testament. So in that also they have shown God as a angry man, right? So the fight for control, uses, manipulate, everything led to a patriarchal society, male dominating society. So this everything, this God is a projection of the human mind. God is not that, right? We have understood that. To go beyond the mind and reconnect with the deeper reality of being, very different qualities are needed. Surrender, non judgment, and openness that allows life to be instead of resisting it. The capacity to hold all things in the loving embrace of your knowing. To go beyond the mind and reconnect with the deeper reality of being. For that, we need different qualities, not that resistance or fight, control, manipulation. We need surrender. We need non judgment and openness that allows life to be instead of resisting it. The capacity to hold all things in the loving embrace of your knowing. All these qualities are much more closely related to the female principle, right? Surrendering, non judgmental, openness, capacity to hold all things in the loving embrace. Whereas mind energy is hard and rigid, being energy is soft and yielding, yet infinitely more powerful than mind. The mind runs our civilization, whereas being is in charge of all life on our planet and beyond. Being is the very intelligence whose visible manifestation is the physical universe. Although women are potentially closer to it, men can also access it within themselves. At this time, the vast majority of men as well as women are still in the grip of mind, identified with the thinker and the pain body. This, of course, is what prevents enlightenment and the flowering of love. As a general rule, the major obstacle for men tends to be the thinking mind, and the major obstacle for women, the pain body. Although in certain individual cases, the opposite may be true, and in others, the two factors may be equal, which means the greatest obstacle for men, generally not 100%, is thinking mind. Too much thinking, getting associated, identified with whatever the mind is thinking. And for women, the pain body, which means getting triggered, getting sad, grief, that is more prevalent in women, according to the author. But yeah, opposite may also be true, right? So dissolving the collective female pain body. Why is the pain body more of an obstacle for women? The pain body usually has a collective as well as a personal aspect. The personal aspect is the accumulated residue of emotional pain suffered in one's own past. Simple. The pain body, which is there in us, which gets triggered and feel so much of pain. And why this pain body? Because of the emotional pain suffered in one's own past. Emotional pain, you understand? Those traumas. Maybe, generally, um, women are were not allowed to go out, do the things which they wanted to do. That's also a trauma, right? Restrictions, that's also not good. And, listening, because male dominating society, males saying something or the other, all those traumas, right? The collective one is the pain accumulated in the collective human psyche over thousands of years through disease, torture, war, murder, cruelty, madness, and so on. So there is the collective pain also, which has been there for many, many births, many years. Everyone's personal, so that is a collective pain body also. Everyone's personal pain body also partakes of this collective pain body, which simply means that the pain which were there from last hundreds of years, thousands of years, the war, cruelty, murder, we saw, we listen about history, but somewhere many births ago, we were all there. It is there in the soul, in the consciousness. So it's a collective psyche, it's a collective pain body also. There are different strands in the collective pain body. For example, certain races or countries in which extreme form of strife and violence occur have a heavier collective pain body than others. Anyone with a strong pain body and not enough consciousness to disidentify from it will not only continuously or periodically be forced to relieve their emotional pain, but may also easily become either the perpetrator or the victim of violence, depending on whether their pain body is predominantly active or passive. This needs to be understood clearly that yes, some countries, some spaces have more collective pain body. Let's say in some countries, there was a crime like heinous crime, very bad. So the consciousness of that country is maybe more of the pain. So anyone with a strong pain body gets sad easily, gets triggered easily, gets negative, angry easily. And if they're not conscious enough to disidentify from it, if they don't work on it, what is going to happen? Again and again, they will be forced by the law of nature, law of universe, they will be forced again to relieve those emotional pain or more of the violence. On the other hand, they may also be potentially closer to enlightenment also. They can be potentially closer to enlightenment. Why? Because when the soul feels so much pain, then it wants to end that cycle of pain. This potential is not necessarily realized, of course, but if you're trapped in a nightmare, you will probably be more strong motivated to awaken than someone who is just caught in the ups and downs of an ordinary dream. If you're, you maybe, they say that uh, a person who has faced more, who has gone through life more, is more, there are more chances of that person to become enlightened. Until and unless some people face hardships in life, they don't come closer to God, right? So the both of the things. So apart from her personal pain body, every woman has her share in what could be described as collective female pain body, unless she is fully conscious. So the whole psyche of whatever has happened to female in this world for many years, the collective consciousness, collective pain body is there. This consists of accumulated pain suffered by women, partially through male subjugation of female through slavery, exploitation, rape, childbirth, child loss, so on over 4,000 of years. The emotional or physical pain that for many women precedes and coincides with the menstrual flow is the pain body in its collective aspect that awakens from its dormancy at that time, although it can be triggered at other times too. The emotional or physical pain that for many women precedes and coincides with the menstrual flow is the pain body in its collective aspects that awakens from its dormancy at that time, although it can be triggered at other time also. It restricts the free flow of life energy through the body, of which menstruation is a physical expression. Let's dwell on this for a moment and see how it can become an opportunity for enlightenment. Let's try to understand it more. Often a woman is taken over by the pain body at that time, right? It has an extremely powerful energetic charge that can easily pull you into unconscious identification with it. You are then actively possessed by an energy field that occupies your inner space and pretends to be you, but of course is not you at all. It speaks through you, acts through you, thinks through you. It will create negative situations in your life so that it can feed on the energy. It wants more pain in whatever form. I have described this process already. It can be vicious and destructive. It is pure pain, past pain, and it is not you. Let's read the next paragraph, then I will explain. The number of women who are now approaching the fully conscious state already exceeds that of men and will be growing even faster in the years to come. That's so true. Men may catch up with them in the end, but for some considerable time, there will be a gap between the consciousness of men and that of women. Women are regaining the function that is their birthright and therefore comes to them more naturally than it does to men. To be a bridge between the manifested world and the unmanifested, which means between physicality and spirit. Your main task as a woman now is to transmute the pain body so that it no longer comes between you and your true self, the essence of who you are. So, uh, we have understood about the collective female pain body that for many years, whatever pain the women collectively suffered, and it is there in women's consciousness. There is a reason, right, why we sometimes take birth of a male or a female. And now this pain body coincides with the menstrual flow. Is what is that? Is the pain body in its collective aspects that awakens from its dormancy at that time. So this is like something like coinciding with the menstrual. That's why it's making it more painful, and the emotions are so high that you know we we start identifying with all them. This is what the author is saying, that you are then actively possessed by an energy field. We all know that, right? What happens, PMS or mood swings. So what is happening, that energy has taken your space and it pretends to be you, and it is not you. It speaks through you, acts through you, because like we discussed in the second chapter, that emotions have gotten so intensified that it gets very difficult to disidentify from it. We start feeling that I am doing that, I am feeling jealous. We forget that this is not me who can feel jealous. A soul can never feel jealous. Who is feeling jealous? Mind, emotion. This is temporary. This is not me. The pain which it is creating, that is not me. Slowly we will start to disidentify from all that. And similarly, what author is saying is that this I think you have observed that, even if I say that maybe in this session also you will find more females than men, right? Why? Because okay, they have felt more pain, but now the consciousness of women will be more, and men may catch up, but right now there will be a gap between the consciousness, which means female will be more inclined towards the unmanifested, which means they will be able to understand spirit, the being, the soul, God. Men may not be able to get that much. Of course, you have to deal with the other obstacle to enlightenment, which is the thinking mind, but the intense presence you generate when dealing with the pain body will also free you from identification with the mind. The main task for women is to dealing with the pain body when it is getting triggered. First, I will understand that it does not get triggered, because I will be aware, I will be prepared. And when it is triggering uh, through my partner, I will know where it is coming from. It is coming from the unconsciousness, the pain, and uh, you know, this is not me. Telling yourself that the pain body is triggered, it wants to feel pain, but hello, I'm not that. I don't, I don't feel good when I feel pain. This is not here. I'm not looking for anything. The pain is not good. Of course, I have to face it, embrace it, accept it. I'm not saying that hide away from it, but this is not my reality. My reality is to be joyful, right? Yes. The When we talk about collective, something collective consciousness, collective pain. Here, author is talking about collective female pain body, which means that let's understand this at a soul level. Soul level means that for many births, for many years, maybe around from 2000 years, people are fighting for place, and the biggest uh, victim of all those fights were mostly females, because they were not allowed to decide anything. Men were at front, so all the wrong things that has happened with the women throughout the year, it is there in our consciousness, because we were there when all that happened. We were part of that. So in my consciousness, in the soul, all those recordings are there. All those traumas are there. That's why we need more of the healing. That's what the author is trying to tell you, is that why do female feel more pain? Why do they have the menstrual cycle? Because all that collective pain has coincided with the menstrual cycle, and then we feel more emotionally unstable. You just have to tell yourself that this is like collective, and I won't give attention to it. This is not who I am, right? That this is the collective consciousness of human, the psyche. साइकी मतलब हमारा जो माइंड है उसमें वो पुराने सभी इंसिडेंट्स हैं, good, bad, everything is there, even of this birth. All those things are shaping up our thought process, our way of thinking, our looking at the thing, right? So this is what it is. Yes, everyone's time will come. Whoever is in male costume will get the female costume, but we are talking about this time right now. There is a reason I am born as a male or female, to get enlightenment. And as the author says, I completely agree. And I have also experienced this thing that it's such a blessing to be a woman in this time. Because as it is said that the collective consciousness is that women are more conscious than men right now. And um, thank God that, I have started to understand um, God, connecting with God. And this is the biggest blessing for it, right? Okay, so let me see how much is left. I think we will cover it tomorrow. Yes, I think uh, author has talked in detail about menstruation. Yeah, in detail. So we will talk about it tomorrow. You know? So let's end it with this paragraph. The first thing to remember is this: as long as you make an identity for yourself out of the pain, you cannot become free of it. Very important. As long as part of your sense of self is invested in your emotional pain, you will unconsciously resist or sabotage every attempt that you make to heal that pain. First thing, as long as you make an identity for yourself out of the pain, you cannot become free of it. जब तक अपने आप को पेन से आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, I am whatever the under the vices, look at the thoughts you create for yourself. You will start to check that how am I, with whom I am identifying with. I am like this. I am very I have many pain. I am always sad. People are not good to me. What is this? I'm identifying with the pain. I cannot become free of it. And as long as part of your sense of self is invested in your emotional pain, you will continuously resist or sabotage every attempt that you make to heal that pain. Same is the case with the emotional pain. Why? Quite simply because you want to keep yourself intact, and the pain has become an essential part of you. आप अपने आप को उस पेन से दूर करना ही नहीं चाहते हो. You want to identify with that pain, and it has become the essential part of you. This is an unconscious process, and the only way to overcome it is to make it conscious. This is unconscious process. Whatever the emotions are, I won't identify with them. Whatever. Even if in a PMS, even in menstrual cycle, I will not identify with it. Even in the difficult situations, I will not identify with it. I am not that. I know who I am. Centeredness, the core. I am a soul, seven virtues, peaceful, whatever has happened, whatever is happening. There is an emotional something that is in the body. I am not affected. I am joyful. Pain, there is a pain in the body. That's okay. The relationships are not that harmonious. I'm working on it, but I am calm here. I'm in the present. I'm conscious. As we discussed yesterday, that uh, relationships are not to make me happy. Relationships are to make me conscious, right? So, yes, we will talk about all these things. Like if you read the next line of the next paragraph, first line of the, to suddenly see that you have been attached to your pain can be quite a shocking realization. We will talk about it in detail, how to disidentify from the pain, how to feel that I am attached to pain, but it's as simple as that. My every thought should be aligning with the seven virtues: peace, purity, bliss, happiness, love, power, knowledge. Anything which is deviating from it, that is not me. Again, with complete acceptance that mind will create that. दुखी नहीं होना है, परेशान नहीं होना है, mind will create it, but I accept it, I acknowledge it, first acknowledge it कि हाँ ये I am deviating, the pain I am starting to associate with pain. I my mind, my ego wants to feel the pain. It is creating some thoughts. It is reminding me all those words from the people which are not healthy. It is creating scenarios in my mind that, they are not good. That none of that is true because, again, I am not looking for happiness from outside, joy from outside, love from outside. I am the creator of it and I have got God with me. So none of that is actually true. All right. We will go more in the depth of it tomorrow. So, but I would again recommend you to please, 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 you also read this book again, the pages again. ठीक है? Okay. Hmm. Okay, I have read your question. You are doing the good thing. How to heal both of us from that pain. Yes, in the mind, create pure thoughts, again, aligning with the soul's virtues, and give them the vibrations, blessings of forgiveness. Ask them for forgiveness, forgive yourself, because forgive yourself that I was not conscious enough to understand what is right, what is wrong. Now I'm becoming conscious. That's okay, right? So तब मुझे इतना पता नहीं था, अब तो पता है ना. So I'm becoming conscious now. So I forgive myself also because I was not that aware few days, few months ago. Okay, okay. So if you write your questions to everyone, no, so the team members will reply to you because I have to ask the questions. The book is in the group. We send it in the group. We will again send it today in the group English Reading Club. If you're not there, please join. Great, Karuna. Thanks, and happy to hear that. And it's been only 2 months, so the journey will take some time. It is going to take some time for healing. All right, so question time. First question, let's see who will reply. And you need to turn on the video also so that everyone can see you. Okay? Hmm. Okay, I have uh, opened for everyone. So first question is, the author says, every challenge that a relationship contains is actually a disguised opportunity for salvation. How do you interpret this? Have you observed this in your personal life? Who is going to answer? सब अच्छे बच्चे हैं. Be courageous and reply. It is going to help others also. This is the essence of this reading club. Slowly, you have to start reading. So, this is the first step to speak whatever you have understood. Okay? Okay, let's hear it from Kiranji. Anji.
Om Shanti, brother. Uh,
Om
First
Shanti.
of all, I want to explain this according to my understanding. Mostly, when I feel my small sister try to trigger me in most of the situations. So, at that time, what I observed when I started this book, mostly my past births, many voices come out. Then I feel that yes, this is wrong thing. This is wrong emotion. Then I identify that thing. But in previous, I don't know this is wrong with me. But now I understand very well. And at that time, this moment, when I accept it and I identify, that time I feel that I totally found a salvation from that virtue, that vices. Now that's very easy for me to identify that that is a past something wrong vices for me.
Hmm. Okay, okay. So, yes, Rana sister, you want to add something to it?
Yes, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
I think every challenge if we pass in any challenge, we want to find a solution because the negative emotions are not beneficial for ourselves. We have deep inside in us a memory that things should be in a proper way. Our feelings should be positive. We have to live in a harmony with each other. So every challenge triggers something inside us to find a solution. So we begin in searching for answers, and we can get to spiritual enlightenment, and this is the salvation, I think.
Yes,
But
yes,
it's not easy. It's difficult because uh, the unconsciousness that is inside us will stay there and will keep us in this pain if we don't really because the change is also not easy. So because of this is a challenge, and we have to really be having a good will to change and to be free from this pain.
yes, yes, yes. So true, both of you. It is a great opportunity to, like author said, it is a great checking point when things are not according to us, when situations are unfavorable, how we react. That is the real checking. That what am I holding on to inside, and what is my conscious level? So, as I said, that it may get difficult if you are surrounded with the trigger point. I'm not saying in a negative sense, but if you're surrounded by a person whose things triggers you a lot, um, it's a great opportunity to work on every trigger point. And when we do that fastly, then the person will observe the change. They may not speak, may not be vocal, but they will start observing it. It's a great opportunity. I think so. I have experienced that. It's a great opportunity. So, which brings us to the second question. The light is too painful for someone who wants to remain in the darkness. What does it mean? And how can you deal with such situations? And I would like to add one thing to it. Have you experienced this? That the light is too painful for, has the light been too painful for me? Have you ever tried to stay in the darkness? Who will reply? Anyone? Anything, what you understood from this thing? Yes, Anuja.
Shanti. So, this is what I have understood actually, that when one partner is enlightened or slightly enlightened, then sometimes what happens is that other partner ego comes in between, and that ego is used to those dramas and those reactions which should come out from the other partner. Basically, the unenlightened partner ego is not satisfied till they see some drama. So that is when basically it becomes more challenging, that person is not able to accept that the other partner is in his calm, and they are centered, spiritually centered somewhere, right? So that is when basically it becomes more of a challenge. But when both the partners are in the darkness, then anyway they are lost. But but uh, but when one is enlightened, another is not, then another sort of problem appears. Yeah, maybe you can help make it clear, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, as author said that it can be a blessing in disguise also. But as you said that if we both are in the darkness, nothing is going to come out. And when we are coming in the light, things can become little challenging because if that person is not, let's suppose that person is not willing to change. That person wants to live in the pleasures, darkness, those traumas, those pains. And I have started becoming enlightened and I have started understanding all these things. So, first thing what is going to happen is I may be able to take that person, I may be able to lift that person above through first of all, through my changed behavior. If I'm becoming like we discussed about, if I'm becoming more knowing, more um, observer, not reacting, the partner is observing. Those little gestures are having a deep impact on that person's psyche. And eventually, that person will start uh, taking you more seriously. They will start respecting you more. It may not be vocal always, but you will start seeing in the gesture, and you need to be patient with that. So, first thing is going to happen, they may also want to do that. Second is they may not want to do that. So, what can we do? Either to avoid the conflict, what we should do, we should come back to the darkness. We have to think, is it the right thing to do for me and the other person? Just because the light is too bright for that person, does it mean that I don't throw the light on that person. That seems not a good option for myself and the other person. What to do? Shine more light. Maybe that person will awaken, but I have to leave it to that person. I can't force anyone, but the best interest of both of the partner is I keep going in the light. I don't have to leave them. I have to inspire them. I have to guide them. I don't have to force them. Forcing is not, helpful in any way. So whenever the times come, that person may come out of the darkness, but I will not stop shining brightly because of just this reason, because I am helping myself and I am helping that relationship to come out of all that pain and pleasure cycle and to really understand the meaning of love and relationship, not just the what the word wants or not just what just staying there means. It's not helping anybody, right? Okay, so the last question: why, according to the author, women are closer to enlightenment? Do you agree or disagree? I want to listen it from a male. Do you agree or disagree? Women are closer to enlightenment. We are not here to fight. We are not even identifying ourselves with a male or female, right? Remember, the moment I identify with something, there is a separatedness. So we are just having a healthy discussion, understanding of human behavior, so that I can deal things in a better way. So who is going to answer this? Why, according to author, women are closer to enlightenment? And do you agree or disagree? Yes, Vijayji.
Yes, sir. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
The author highlighted uh, the crimes with women that from thousands of years, women have suffered so many bad things. So that is why I think women are more enlightened. And woman is the mother of a person. So that is why that may be the reason for enlightenment of woman more than a man. Thank you.
Yeah. And Karuna also has written beautifully because they are able to feel more. Yes, we say that you are very emotional, they are very emotional, but that is a good thing. If they are feeling emotional, if they know that they are feeling something, it means they are aware. If they are able to understand emotions, and it is just a matter of few days that they will go into the deeper meaning, the deep real self, that soul consciousness, right? So, yes, very well answered. Anyone wants to add anything to today's session or wants to share something, express something? How was today's session? As I said that the people who are joined there, who are there from starting, um, now it's my responsibility to speak slowly so that one day will come that I also want to read the book like I am reading. You also have to do that thing. We want to add more people in our team to do that. Please, how will we reach there? When I will start speaking for a minute, right? Let's hear it from Sujata ji.
Om Shanti. Am I audible?
Yes, Om Shanti.
I actually, the third question itself, I feel there is a problem because soul we know has no gender. So when we are talking about soul consciousness, differentiating between soul consciousness of a male and female itself is a wrong question itself. So
Hmm.
I disagree that this is correct that pain body and women are more emotional. But when it comes to soul, there is no gender differentiation. So this question is not correct. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. No, we are here talking about the human psyche, and this is not about not being soul conscious. We are not trying to divide. We are not trying to create a generalized statement or opinion that women are always that or men are always that. We are just trying to understand that what is the real meaning behind it. And as I said, that if I have gotten a birth of female in this body or a male, there is a reason behind it. So, like, um, there are many aspects to it, but yeah, I understood what you're saying, and that's so true that soul has no gender. Again, we are not dividing anything, but we are just trying to understand that why women are more enlightened. Again, not 100%. I am a male. I am enlightened, right? Everything is not same for everyone. But yeah, we are trying to understand that for women, the pain body is more there. The uh, issue in enlightenment, the pain body is there. They feel more pain. They get triggered more than one what men gets. So we need to understand so that we can work on it. Okay. Yes, exactly what the author is trying to say, what Jandeep Kaur has written, that men don't express, so they suppress, and they don't now know that what they are feeling because they have suppressed it. So they don't really know what am I feeling right now. So yeah, we'll continue this discussion tomorrow. So meet me 3 p.m. and we will talk in more depth about relationships and enlightened relationships. Okay, thank you so much. And it was a lovely interaction. And see you tomorrow. Om Shanti, best wishes.